Alright, hello everyone. My name is Hayden Lewis. I'm with Versatility TV. I'm the head instructor for Versatility USA. And today we're going to talk about these blades that are on my belt. So I have two of them. I have this one. I have this one. You notice this one's more curved. This one is more straight. So this one is called the Khanjar. This one is called the card, like a deck of cards, but with a K. These are both very unique and useful, very versatile tools seen in civilian and military usage. Although their usages are a little bit different. So with the Khanjar, it's primarily used in this reverse or ice pick grip, however you want to call it. And it's essentially adding a claw to the human body. When one of these comes out, it's gonna be a dogfight, that's for sure. Now, the card, I would say, in my opinion, is more finesse, and the grip lends very well to this style of grip, kind of like a handshake grip. So it's almost like you're fencing with it. Now, this is primarily for, you can probably tell, obviously this is primarily for piercing, right? You can cut with it too, but its strong suit is piercing, while the nature of the Khanjar is more conducive to cutting, but it's also very good at piercing as well. Not quite as effective as this at piercing. So I would say for piercing through armor and gaps, I would prefer this. From a wrestling standpoint, the way you grips when you wrestle, pinning people down with your knee, you can pin them down. You can draw this straight out and it's already ready to be deployed. So that has that going for it. I would say this lends better to wrestling and grappling. And I mean, they're both close quarters, don't get me wrong. But this one, the Khanjar, lends very well to wrestling. Now carrying, I notice, of course this one's much wider and it's curved. This one's a little bit more difficult to carry. This one's way comfortable to carry, even concealed. You're going to have a harder time concealing this, not impossible. So this one I would say is more versatile to carry. I would say also, because of the usage of it and the length of it and the profile of it, it's better to keep them away from you too, even though it's a closer range weapon. You're going to have a harder time doing that with that grip, right? So I would say in terms of offense and defense, this one's more versatile, the card, because you can keep them away with its length and keep them at bay, but you can also be very aggressive with it as well. This is almost pure aggression, but it still has defensive purposes too, covering with the side of the blade, things like that. But because it's ice pick grip, it's almost pure aggressive offense with this. So in terms of versatility, they're versatile in different ways. I wouldn't say one is more versatile than the other. They're both efficient in different ways. This one's more efficient at cutting. This one's more efficient at piercing, thrusting. I would say versatility, I give a slight edge to this, the Khanjar, because even though it's mainly for cutting, the piercings with it, thrusting with it, is actually pretty decent, while cutting with this is not as effective if you're trying to go by ratio. Let's say this one is 80% better at cutting than this, and vice versa. I would say that the ratio between stabbing better and cutting better is better with this one, in terms of being able to stab, pierce, and cut, rather than this one. It's not going to cut as well. So I would say this one's more versatile in that aspect, if that makes any sense. Now, from a learning perspective, if you come from a martial art background like boxing or kickboxing, Muay Thai, something with a lot of punching. This one's gonna, you're gonna learn this one very well. You're gonna learn to get your body behind it, your shoulders and your hips behind it. If you come from like Filipino martial arts or other styles, fencing, this one's gonna be more conducive. I would say for a beginner, this one would be more conducive, especially if you have no base, just because it's more natural to hold an object like that. So I would say from a learning perspective, I think you're going to have an easier time learning this starting off and versus this. Although this one's not too difficult to use, it just depends on your background as well. Overall, if I were to pick one or over the other, I'd pick both of them. But let's say I absolutely had to pick one. Well, I do almost always have this with me for a reason. It's easier to carry, it's easier. The profile makes it easy to put in a bag, put in your belt, conceal it, make sure it's legal if you're concealing it, versus this one. This one's a little bit more, I wouldn't say discreet, but this one's not going to draw as much attention as this. Like people are like, oh, what is that? Especially in my side of the world. So overall, I carry this more, not because I like it more, just because I feel it's more practical. Because I really, really, really love the Khanjar. If anyone of you knows me, this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite blade. Let me know if you have any questions on these, and I'll gladly answer them as I fight these bugs off trying to eat me. That's why I'm wearing armor. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and you all have a good rest of your day. Thank you.